everyone, Tina here. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I'm back to share with you a project for LDRS Creative, and today we are using the Love and Bloom stamp set. I've used it before. It's a layering stamp set, but I love the roses on here, so we're going to make a fun Valentine's Day card using this set. So we're going to start off by doing some stamping using the first layer of each one of our images. We're just going to stamp the large rose and the single larger leaf that's in the stamp set. Now the rose itself is a 3-layer flower, and the leaf is a 2-layer. I'm using pink Tutu. It's the lightest ink that I'm going to be using for my rose. And then for my leaf, I'm going to be using key lime pie, and these are both the base images of my layering images here. Once we have these stamped, I'm going to go ahead and take our second layer. Second layer, we're going to add it to our block. And then we'll take our second layer leaf image and add that. We're going to go ahead and ink up layer number 2 with our medium tone ink. This is Lipstick Jungle, and there you can see here it's very easy to line up with the acrylic block. We'll just stamp that. Lovely. And then we'll take our second layer of the leaf and stamp that with Olive Branch. And you can see it's very easy to line up, and it's very forgiving too. If you offset it a bit, no worries. I think it still turns out gorgeous. And I love these two colors for a leaf combination. Okay, the leaf only has 2 layers. Flower has 3 layers, so we're going to take our third layer for the rose. We'll add that to our acrylic block, and we're going to use Kiss Me Red for our last layer, which is our darkest ink. We'll make sure it's inked up real well and kind of turn our block so it lines up, and we'll stamp that. What's easy to remember is the way that they are stamped on the stamp set is the way that you would stamp them on paper too. And I think they look so gorgeous. It's so pretty. I love this color combination. Okay, I'm going to use my scissors and fussy cut each one of my images out. I am going to leave a little bit of a white border around my leaves and my flowers. And then I'm going to add my leaves to 2 of my flowers. So 2 leaves go to 2 of my flowers, and then one of them will leave single. There they are, all ready to go. Now we're going to work on our background. I want to create a little bit of a lattice look using my LDRS Creative stencil. This stencil is called Coming Up Daisies, and I love the fence in here. I think it's so pretty. I'm going to do a little bit of masking. I just want one of the fence panels, and so I'm going to mask off the right here. We'll mask off the left, and you know what, when I'm masking it off, I use the very last fence post as a guide. I lined it up on the left side of my card base. I'm going to be stenciling directly on my A2 size card base. For that, we're using iced tea ink, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading using my blending brush. Now this is a hybrid ink, so it blends beautiful and it adds nice texture. When you dab your blending brush over your stencil area, you can see how nice and textured that looks. Okay, next up I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to flip my stencil upside down using that last fence post as a guide for where to place it. I'm leaving about a 1-inch gap between both of my fences, and I think this is going to give me a nice lattice look. Mask off the top here and do the exact same thing. Do a little bit of shading with my iced tea, and then I'll take my ink and kind of tap over my stencil, and this gives not only texture, but it gives a 2-tone gradient look. Very nice. So my fence posts are done, and again, this is my card base, so we're stenciling directly on our card base. Now I already added foam adhesive behind each one of my flowers and the leaves, and I'm kind of arranging my placement. For my single flower here, I'm going to add 1 more foam square for a little added dimension, and then we'll tuck our last leaf right underneath here. I think that looks so pretty. For my sentiment, I'm using my Raven ink pad, and we're going to stamp Love You in that open area. Lovely. And then I'm going to bring in a heart. The heart I'm actually going to bring in from the Utterly Lovable stamp set. There was a perfect size heart in there. And I thought since it's a Valentine's Day card, we need some hearts in here. So I'm using my Kiss Me Red ink. I'm going to stamp my heart 3 times. And it's stamped beautifully over the fence because it is a darker red ink. For my lightest ink, my pink Tutu, I'm going to stamp just 1 heart, but I'm going to stamp it all the way to the left in that white area. I was afraid it would get lost over the fence. So I thought we'd try our lipstick jungle and see how that would do. I'm just going to stamp 1 heart right below the Love You sentiment. And I think that looks fabulous. For finishing touches, I'm going to bring in my Nouveau Crystal Drops. This is Morning Dew. It'll dry clear like a glossy accents. I'm going to go over each one of my little hearts. It's going to give me a little bit of shine and some dimension. And then that finishes off my project for today, guys. Pretty easy card, but I love the layers in the stamp set. I'll link the set down below, or everything, in case you guys want to check it out. But thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I wish you a fantastic day. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.